Good morning. I would ask you to please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be led today by Ms. Megan Johnson, and then the invocation that follows by Mr. Cruz Young.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged anchor, the bombs bursting in, they prove through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. Dear loving Father, we welcome you to this joyous occasion today. We thank you for the time and the effort of our family and friends to love us and support us throughout this time. We thank you for the faculty and staff and administrators of Troy University to teach us, to lead us, and to guide us, to teach us to love, to teach us to continue to be steadfast and to achieve our goals. We pray as we sit out today and we stand here today that we know that we are loved. We know that as a God, and because of you, this is possible. We pray that you be the speaker today, and on behalf of my classmates, pray that you just electrify the ceremony and the celebration, and everything we do, we honor you. In your name I pray, amen.
Please be seated. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jack Hawkins, Jr., Chancellor of Troy University. Dr. Hawkins.
Good morning. Welcome to a day we consider to be the most important day of the year at Troy University. And I know if I asked for an amen, I'd probably hear that from these graduates and their families. So, okay. We are so proud that all of you are here and have gathered in celebration of achievement. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce to you a number of people. All of you are special. I'll call attention only to a few. Please hold your applause and we will recognize them as a group. The members of our Board of Trustees, the Honorable Gerald Dial, the President Pro Tem of the Board, the Honorable Karen Carter, the Honorable Roy Drinkard, the Honorable John Harrison, the Honorable Doug Hawkins, the Honorable Charles Nayland, and the Honorable Lamar Higgins. Our speaker, who will be formally introduced momentarily, is Colonel Leo Thorsness. Our administrative leadership includes Dr. John Schmidt, the Senior Vice Chancellor for Advancement and External Relations. And I would say thank you to Colonel Schmidt as he retires after 20 great years of service to this institution. He will be missed by all of us. Dr. Earl Ingram, the Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Dr. Jim Bookout, Senior Vice Chancellor for Finance and Business Affairs. Dr. John Dew, the Senior Vice Chancellor for Student Services and Administration. And representing our academic colleges, from whom you'll hear more later, Dr. Jim Reinhardt, the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Kay Sheridan, the College of Business, Dr. Don Jeffrey, the College of Communication and Fine Arts, Dr. Catherine Hildebrand, the College of Education, and Dr. Mark Tillman, the College of Health and Human Services, and Dr. Diane Barron, who is Associate Provost and Dean of our graduate school. Other members of the platform party include Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Garcia, Air Force ROTC, Mr. Matt Thompson, the SGA President, Dr. Dion Rosser Mims, the recipient of the Wallace D. Malone Jr. Distinguished Faculty Award, and she had the honor of carrying the university mace into the arena this morning. Many special guests, and let me just single out a few so you'll know they're here. State Senator Paul Bussman, Commissioner of the Alabama Commission on Higher Ed, Patricia McGriff, our own graduate and president of Wallace Community College in Hanceville, Dr. Vicki Hossey Karlowicz, Miss Gailey Thorsness, the wife of our speaker, Miss Barbara Harrison, the wife of Trustee John Harrison, my wife, and certainly my better half, Ms. Janice Hawkins, and we are honored. I won't introduce all of them, but I want you to know they're here. We have about 24 guests who are special guests of the university as we honor a great American in just a bit, Mr. Roy Drinkard. So I would ask all of those family members and the guests of Mr. Roy Drinkard to please stand up and let us say thank you to you for your presence. And then last but not least, I would ask the 12 students who are enrolled in our 1-2-1 program who have been here for 2 years as they return to China to complete their degrees. And we wish them well as they travel, and we are so grateful that we've had an opportunity to have them in our lives for the last 2 years. So would you please join me in saying welcome to all those who've been introduced. Thank you so much. I think it's no secret that family values are important at Troy University. And that's why we're so grateful that the families of our graduates are represented this morning. I think this is a great opportunity for our graduates to say to you something that has been said are the two most important words in the English language. In fact, the Reverend Billy Graham said it's those two words, thank you, are the most important but probably the most underutilized words in our language. And so if you're a member of a family of one of our graduates, let me ask you to stand up, and we want to say thank you for sharing and supporting your loved ones who are graduating this morning. So if you're a family member, please rise. Thank you so much. We often say at Troy University the most important thing we do is serve students. And so the students are the very reason we're here. But we can't serve those students without an outstanding faculty. And our faculty is represented by a few of our colleagues this morning, and I would like to ask the members of our faculty who have joined us to please stand on behalf of all of our faculty and let us say thank you for a job well done. So the members of our faculty, please stand up. Thank you so much. Now, a word or two to the graduates. It's my honor to welcome you on behalf of the Troy University National Alumni Association into our ranks. We have over 140,000 alumni, and they're all over the world in every clime and place, and they have achieved at great levels. And so we welcome you as alumni, but I would want you to know this morning on behalf of the Alumni Association that I come bearing a gift, and that is 1 year's free membership in the National Alumni Association. But the president of the association said to remind you that it's just for 1 year. We want you to be active in the affairs of your alma mater, because I can assure you, from many years of experience, what I would advise you is that the degree and the value of the degree is not stagnant. It changes. We want it to be worth more 20 years from now than it is today, and I know that you've invested your time, money, and effort, so you want that as well. We can't do that by ourselves. We need your involvement. We need your support. So go out there and be good alumni. Serve your communities well. It was Winston Churchill who said, "You make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give." Give to those those communities that await you. Send us good students, the good students. We want you to send us good students, just like yourselves. We want you to grow as this university grows. And then the point that I wanted to close with is a point that some of you have heard me say before. You know, I want you to go out and embrace life. I want you to remember the importance of attitude. And research continues to bear that 90% of the people in this country every year who lose their job, they don't lose their job because they can't do their job. They lose their job because of a bad attitude. That's true. And just the reverse of that is true for success. A good attitude, looking at the glass as half full, not half empty, is the proper approach if you want to succeed. So I'm very proud of you. I congratulate you on behalf of all of those who have gathered here today and the thousands who couldn't be here, and I know that you'll do well during the years ahead. And now it is truly an honor for me to introduce to you our speaker. Webster's defines hero as a person who is admired for great or brave acts or fine qualities. Often the term hero can be overused, but that term has application today to our speaker because he is truly one of America's true heroes. During the Vietnam War, Colonel Leo Thorsness survived trials most of us could only imagine. It was on 19 April 1967 that Colonel Thorsness was flying a mission over North Vietnam when his wingman was shot down by an enemy aircraft. Out of that plane jumped the pilot and the navigator, and as they were floating to the ground, that enemy aircraft attempted to shoot them out of the sky yet a second time. It was Colonel Thorsness who came to their rescue. His plane was not designed for air-to-air combat, but he took on that aircraft anyway, and he shot it down. He then spotted 4 more enemy warplanes that were coming to do damage, and he fought his way through a hailstorm of surface-to-air missiles, and he shot down one of those planes, driving off the other 3. For this action, Colonel Thorsness was awarded the Medal of Honor. That's the nation's very highest award for heroism. But he didn't know that for years after that act, because 11 days after that particular mission, Colonel Thorsness was shot down during a run over the enemy's territory, and he was captured and he was imprisoned in what has become known as the infamous Hanoi Hilton. He spent 6 years in captivity. Colonel Thorsness wrote about his experiences in an extraordinary book titled Surviving Hell, and I recommend that to you. It's a really good and insightful read into heroism and courage. In addition to the Medal of Honor, Colonel Thorsness received 13 other major decorations, including the Silver Star and the Purple Heart. Following his military career, Colonel Thorsness achieved success in business and in public service. Later, he was elected to the Washington State Senate. He's a graduate of South Dakota State College and the University of Southern California, and a special academic chair in leadership and ethics has been named in his honor at the University of Richmond. He's a resident of Madison, Alabama. That's in North Alabama. Colonel Thorsness serves as the president of the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, and he's a noted motivational speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, it's truly an honor for us to welcome a patriot, a friend of Troy University, and one of the real heroes alive today, Colonel Leo Thorsness.
Very gracious. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, please be seated. Thank you. Well, thank you, Chancellor Hawkins. He's pretty well summed it up. I enjoy being with you. Bye. He is gracious, and I'm wearing the Medal of Honor requested. And just one word on that. Everybody there's currently 80 living recipients. 80th be about 3 days ago. And every one of us would say with total truthfulness that we all know people who are as or more deserving than we. We happened to be at the right spot or the wrong spot at that time. There were no living survivors, so it wasn't reported. It fell for a lot of reasons. But anyway, this is worn very humbly, and it's for every American who does their job and does it the best they can. So I'm honored. Congratulations to each of you. I'm honored to be up here, and I think everyone's been recognized, so just thank you to the staff and the leadership of the university. Most important, thank you for being here today. You represent a lot of work, and there's no question in my mind that today you are so much better qualified than you were 3 or 4 years ago to go out in the world or continue your education. But you've done a lot, and congratulations on the academics that you have. I'm not qualified at all to talk about academics, but I do have about 82 years of some experience now, and I want to mention just 3 or 4 lessons that I've learned that I hope here's your academics that kind of surround it, and you probably know these, but I hope to enforce them and to make your life fuller, better, richer, however that works out. I want to start out with the goals you've set for yourself. Obviously, you set one to be here, but the best goal-setting example I have in life, and it's simple, and I'm a simple guy, so I want to reinforce your goals. Just pick out 1 or 2 really big things in life, and then figure out how to reach them. In our case, I was living in a little cell. By the way, few second overview. 3 years in prison were real brutal. The last 3 were boring. First 3 you were solitary or 2 or 3 in a little cell. The last 3 you were in big cells and you could talk out loud and so on. First 3, if they could hear any sound, they beat you at a minimum. So it was a tough first 3 years. This happened during the first 3 years. I happened to be with 2 other people in this little cell for a little while, and you got outside once every few days to pour a bucket of water over yourself. That was your bath. And we saw one time going out a little strip of 35 millimeter film. And we talked about that and how great it would be if we get that in the cell. So we went out the next time. We distracted the guard that was always with it. We got it in. We now have a very accurate measurement. We like inches, so we converted millimeters to inches. We found a piece of string, and there's bamboo everywhere. We made bamboo, a needle from that, and we put the string, and we took the drawstring out of our prison pajamas, and every inch we put a little stitch. And on that, now we got a tape measure, right? It's amazing. If you have no books, no pencils, you can't, how much time you can spend measuring. We measured everything that didn't move. I mean, we knew it. But one of the things we measured was we had it, within that little cell, we had about a 5 by 8 foot little loop in there that we could walk around. And now, of course, we had this tape measure. Right away, I measured the distance around that loop. It turned out to be 23.4 feet. You figure that out into a mile, 225 laps, you can make a mile, right? And so right away I thought, well, how many miles can I make a day? And my legs had been injured on ejection. They went straight sideways, but I could walk pigeon-toed kind of. And if I walked 10 hours, I walked a mile an hour. And in 10 hours, I could walk 10 miles. And I figured out, let's see, if 10 miles, if I don't walk on Sunday, that's 60 miles a week. And if I figured out we're 10,000 miles from home, back to goals. My big goal in life was to become free, was to get back to my family, right? So this doesn't seem real here, but it was total reality there. I computed out that if I walked 3.2 years, 60 miles a week, in 3.2 years, I would be free. Somehow, I would escape, the war would end, but whatever it was, I would regain my freedom. So I'd get up in the morning, and if I made 10 miles that day, took this great big goal in life and just did what I had to do that day. And when I made 10 miles, I was euphoric. I knew I was accomplishing what I had to do to get home. It was just a phenomenal lesson for me. And as goofy as it might sound here, it was real there. I want to talk just a little bit about communications. The better you communicate, you're all good communicators or you wouldn't be here. You're bright, you're sharp, you're bushy-tailed, but the better you communicate, both in language and in reading and body language, the better communicator you are. It's a big asset in trying to become as successful as you can. And this is a story about communications in prison, the necessity of being a good communicator. At times, our communications with the cell, even if you're solitary, we figured out a way to tap with a tap code to talk to the person in the cell next to us. And you couldn't use the Morse code because it got dashes. And some of the walls between the little solitary cells are about a foot of concrete. But you could put, if I'm talking to you, right there in the corner, if I tap on the wall to you, if you put your ear against the wall, I can tap kind of quietly through that wall. You can pick it up, okay? And so we converted everything to taps. And we threw away the letter K. And if you want to send a K, you send a C. So now we lined them up 5 rows of 5, like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. There's no K, so the third row is L, M, O. Got it? You tap row, slight hesitation, and then the column. My initial example, first name is L. You know where that is? The third row, it would sound like this. Wow, 3-1. At night, in those first 3 years, what we would do if you weren't, sometimes you're in stocks, you couldn't get to the wall, but if you weren't in stocks, you get next to the wall and you'd tap on the wall to the guy next to you, he's in solitary, you'd tap GBU. G would be 2-2, wouldn't it? B was 1-2. That was GBU. And then if he could get to the wall, he would tap back to you, GBU, GN. God bless you, good night. And it was. I'm not here preaching, but I hope each of you have some spirituality in your life that you believe in something greater than self. We happen to be Christian, but that was so meaningful to have an American just 12 inches away from you, even when the times are real tough. And we used that tap code, and at times it truly was the difference between life and death. If a guy's in cell number 1 and he's tortured today to get whatever he can get out of they could get for a statement or some sort of a confession, whatever goofy thing they are after. If he survived and he gets back to his cell, and I'm in cell 2, it's a bad night, but if he can tap to me, we had names for torture, what kind of torture it was, what they wanted, did they break him? If so, did he have to lie to survive? If so, what lie did he tell? Keep them simple, by the way, so you remember them. But that tap code was the difference between life and death sometimes. Communications is critical. One of the things that in the last 3 years, we could talk out loud. We got outside most days for 5 minutes. You'd pour a bucket of water on yourself. You got to bathe every day. There was 20, 30, 40 of us in a cell. And one of we all had different ways of passing time. We had no books, no pencils, but we were, and all of us, by the way, as you know, South Vietnam was a ground war, North Vietnam was an air war. I was in the air war side, so everybody who was in North Vietnam in the prison camp, we all had at least a bachelor's degree because we had to have a degree to become a pilot or a navigator, aviators, right? And so we were fairly well educated, and also I was 35 when I was shot down. For being a POW, that's old. And by the way, this is the first commencement speech I've ever given, so if I do a really good job, I might be starting a new career, I might be commencing a commencement speaker career. But being an octogenarian, being 82 now, I would not plan this career for more than, like, say, 10 years because there might be other careers I want to offer in the future. But at any rate, while we were these lessons, what I did decide one day to pass time was I decided I would keep track of all the topics, the things of which we spoke about in prison. There's 30 of us in the cell, so there could be 15 conversations going on. And so I created an imaginary pencil and an imaginary piece of paper, and I even made myself a little clipboard so I looked official, imaginary, and so I started listening to all the different conversations. And I just, being a fighter pilot, that is so much fun. I mean, you go supersonic on the deck, and you're inverted, and you're pulling G's until you get shot down. It's the best job going. And but anyway, I assumed, because we were all I assumed what we talk about, work, aviation, would be our #1 topic, right? Well, it turns out after about 2 weeks, everything was being repeated, so I tallied things up. And work came in. We talked about 20 subjects, and there was only about 20 topics we seemed to talk about over and over again. And work came in number 17. It wasn't #1 like I thought it would be. But guess what came in the top 4? And this is a foot stomper. Now, top 4, #1 thing we talked about was family. Most of us are married, most of us had kids, but some of them were, but it didn't matter. Family is the most important thing. You're going to talk about it when you're in a situation like that. Now, the other three things all started with F's. Easy to remember. Family, friends, faith, and fun. That's what we talked about. And the point I want to make, when I was a young guy, a young fighter pilot, a pretty wife, a pretty little girl, I got so wrapped up in my wife and in my work, I forgot my wife and my little girl. And I kind of ignored them. I got so don't get so wrapped up in work that you ignore these four things: fun, family, faith, and friends. If you add a little bit of those to your life each day, your life is going to be richer, fuller, better. And when you get towards the end, like I am, you're going to look back and say, that was a good life. Or I wish, no one ever says when they're dying. And don't ignore work. You got to provide for yourself, your family. Even you accomplish things. You get your degrees, and that's important. But that's a given. You got to work some. But include those other things. On your deathbed, you won't say. I don't want you to say, "I wish I'd gone to the office more." That's as they say. But anyway, those four F's are just critical. I want to talk a little bit about freedom, and I know there's graduates here from a lot of countries in the world. And I grew up as an American, so I'm kind of stressing that. But I hope each of you have the opportunity, or had the opportunity when you were born, to have the kinds of freedoms we did. But I'm going to talk about what I had. But I realize it's if you don't have them, then I hope you get them soon. Because the freedom, it became the most vivid to me. I was in a 5 by 6 foot cell. There was first 3 tough years. They took a few of us out of various other cells and put us there. They kind of called us troublemakers. My birthday is on Valentine's. I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. Why they put me there, I don't know. But anyway, I was one of those they picked out to put in this camp, and they called it Camp Punishment. Well named. We called it Skid Row. But at any rate, the cells were 5 by 6 feet. I spent about a year there. That's that much and that much. And I had to give them a walking. It's hard to walk in a 5 by 6 foot cell when half of it's a slab that you're supposed to sleep on, so to speak. But while I was in that cell, one day you got outside maybe once a week then, and I was out at a bath, cup of water. The guarder's always with you, and I saw a rusty nail. I was able to sneak it back into the cell, and he didn't see me. And so with that little rusty nail, I started working on the mortar. There was one little window. They bricked it up. And instead of the bricks being this way, they were this way. So the mortar was only about that thick. It made it easier. But with that rusty nail, in about 2 weeks, I was able to drill a tiny little peephole in the mortar, okay, right at eye level. And I would spend hours with my eye right up against. I had a little cone out there, 2 or 3 degrees, and I'd see it was a scruzzy prison yard out there, but a lot better than this little 5 by 6 foot cell. And one day, a guard as the guard walked through, we didn't know their name. They wouldn't give us. They gave us Vietnamese names. If I said Major Leo Thorses, they beat us. They gave us Vietnamese names, and you had to bow 90 degrees and the door open. Even if it's dumping your bucket in the sewer, your toilet. But that was how life was. But as this guard walked by one day, just as he went out of focus, this image slipped into my mind, and I hadn't thought about it. It's so vivid. It still is. And I remember the guard walked by, and what I saw myself flipping a coin, like we've all done. And I caught the coin, and I slapped it down like you do. And this is such a real imagination. I remember I looked down at my hand to see what I had. Sure enough, I had heads. It was a dime. But the thought behind that was, in this imagination, was, if I had, how in the world did I luck out? Neither he nor I had any control of who our parents were, right? And yet I got heads. That meant my parents were American. I was born as a farm kid in Minnesota. His parents were Vietnamese. Nothing at all wrong with being a Vietnamese, but a lot wrong for that kid who was born into a communist system, and his job was to guard and torture prisoners regularly. That was a bad situation for him. But the more I thought about that, my being born into freedom versus compared to the rest of the world, probably half of it that didn't have that. And I just by birthright, or if you're an immigrant coming here, but just by birthright, I was handed this platter of rights and opportunities, freedoms. I'm just blessed. I got to marry who I wanted to marry, that cute lady sitting up there. I got to go to school where I wanted to go. I got to have the job I wanted to have. if I wanted to excel in life, I had the freedom to do it. And I just stress to you, make the most of your freedom, wherever you're from. Just make the most of it, and you can excel. And especially if you're born like I was in a Minnesota farm town or wherever this, but you are blessed to be here, have these freedoms, take advantage of it, work really hard, make as much money as you can, or whatever your goal is. Just be sure you put back a little bit more than you take out, and our country will live, ad infinitum with the greatness that we have. So I'm honored to be here, and I would like to close with this tap code, because you know what it means now. God bless you.
Thank you, Colonel Thorsness. You have truly honored us by allowing us to share this special time with you. Thank you, sir.
Proceed to the awarding of degrees. May I ask that you help in 3 ways. Please remain in your seats and take photographs from your seats, not from a place that would block the vision of others of the graduates. Please hold your applause to the graduates until they have walked across the stage. And please remain in your seats until the graduation ceremony is concluded. Thank you. Will the candidates for the associate's degree please rise? Dr. Hawkins, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the associate's degree, and on behalf of the faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval of the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure for me to confer upon each of you the associate degree which you have earned. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree please rise? Dr. Hawkins, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the bachelor's degree, and on behalf of the faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval of the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure for me to confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree which you have earned. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and will you please be seated? Will the candidates for the master's degrees please rise? Dr. Hawkins, these candidates have met all the requirements for the master's degree, and on behalf of the graduate faculty, I recommend that the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and approval of the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure to confer upon each of you the master's degree you have earned. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and will you please be seated? Will the candidate for the doctoral degree please rise? Dr. Hawkins, this candidate has completed all the requirements for the doctoral degree, and on behalf of the graduate faculty, I recommend the degree be conferred.
Upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and approval of the Chief Academic Officer and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's indeed a pleasure to confer upon you the doctorate which you have earned. Congratulations.
Congratulations. At this time, the deans of the colleges will call the graduates forward to receive their diplomas. Dr. Reinhardt, please.
Will the graduates receiving the associate's degree please come forward to accept your diploma? Michael Dixon. LaShonda Tanae Jackson. Antonio Tawan Walker. Princetta Yvette Colbert. Lenora Donald Butler. Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree from the College of Arts and Sciences please come forward to receive your diploma? Salih Ansari. William Randall Crenshaw. Valencia Batin. Angela Lynn Brantley. David Allen Brown. Wanda M. Brown. Whitney Ivy Bullock. Jerry Ryan Butterworth. Tevin A. Calhoun. Eric G. Caulfield. Lyle Whitson Cogran, magna cum laude. Zone Teng Chan. Robert L. Code, cum laude. Mercedes Juanita Combs, cum laude. Thaddeus Curtis. Jeremy Brock Davis. Shulong Den. Sergio H. Duronsero. James Ray Edmonds. Kari Franklin. Olivia Hope Funderburg. Lindsay Renee Goodson, magna cum laude. Kendra Alexandria Henry. Matthew Stephen Hess. Susanna Lynn Hicks, summa cum laude. Jacqueline Morgan Jones, summa cum laude. Michael Ryan Enot, magna cum laude. Ashley Carol Jordan. Carly Diane Ledford. Kaniqua Kelly. Clayton Forrest Long. Lindsay K. Lovelace. Durante L. Martin. Stephen Daniel McKinnon. Ashton Hakeem Moody. Julia Ann Moore. Cynthia K. Mouillet. Elizabeth Marie Murray, summa cum laude. Stephanie A. Nygren. Bradley Dominique Payne. Melissa Taylor Pierce, magna cum laude. Philip Anthony Pritchett. Annie Lee Reed. Carol Elizabeth Hudson Sasser. William Derek Scott, magna cum laude. Jenny Mae Shelton. Justin Tanner Hensley. Patrick W. Stundall. Gregory Allen Tate, Jr. Sabrina Michelle Tate. Kadisha Monet Thompson. William B. Whitbeck. Christina Brooke Whitehurst. Traven Tyler Wilkerson. Danette McNair Williams, magna cum laude. Zachary W. Winslet. Ebony Sherry Wright. Lan Yi. Xiaojun Zhang. Reginald D. Milbury. Carrie Lane Skasik. Emily Norton Snyder, magna cum laude. Clifton Schuyler Strickland, cum laude.
Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree in the Sorrell College of Business please come forward to receive your diplomas? Dennis Connor Hicks. Pryor Hines. Terrence Dion Jones. Angela K. Archer Cohen-Darfer. Lin Thai Phuong Lee. Stephen Ray Baker. Erica Lynn Ball, magna cum laude. Okay. Fun Shang Bu. Kyle Edward Buckner. Yoon Mai Bull. Lisa Self Carter. Elizabeth Brooke Dillard. Jamie Morris Dubose. Bridget Shadell Keatic. An Quang Pham. Carter Ingram Pierce. Benjamin Hardrick Sharp. Patrick Seth Schatz. Jamise Almaniki Steele. Min Du Kwang. Shelley Renee Edge. Yubong Paulinas Essien, cum laude. William Hunter Graham. Taria Margaret Grimm, summa cum laude. Anjanette Sanchez Gross. Kyle Tyler Haga. Mary Elizabeth Thrower. Gautam Vaidya. Mitra Vu. Jamie Lee Wallace. Lucas Ryan Wilkerson. Cruz Cordora Young. John J. Lee. Mai Chi Tron. Casey Nicole McAllister, cum laude. Hawk Phi Nugent Quinn, magna cum laude. Jeffrey Lennon. Huey Quinn.
Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree in the College of Communication and Fine Arts please come forward to receive your diplomas? Ryan Lee Anderson. J.C. Mara Corley. Cameron Michael Crowley, cum laude. Calvin Otis Griffin II. Anjana Jean Helms. Philip James Henry, cum laude. Trevor David Long. Puya Mai. China Danielle McKinnon. Garrett Ryan Meadows, cum laude. Leanne Elizabeth Murray. Christina Sabani Miles. Kristen Lee Owens. Amanda Mela Pascal. Anna Michelle Peoples. Haley Elizabeth Phillips, cum laude. Patrick Danielle Pugh. Tiffany Tierra Salter, magna cum laude. Adrian Nicole Tatum. Eric John Wilbert. Christian Dominic Woods. Rebecca Racine Weiss. Lingfei Zhu.
Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree in the College of Education please come forward to receive your diploma? Megan Renee Bien. Tamika Kashana Balin Roberts. Tanisa Sherelle Bledsoe. Kimberly Ann Casey. Kelsey Deandra Chambers, cum laude. Hillary Celicia Davis. Michael Dumas. Gerald Howard Dix. Paul Thomas Weldon Eaton. Jennifer Darlene Evett. Sandrea Vanita Houston, cum laude. Kiera Jackson. Kendra Nicole Johnson. Nathan Mark Lair. Xavier Vanchard Melton. Jaylene De Silvia Perez Amponte. Sydney Ray Pritchard. Nicole Elizabeth Quebec. Amanda Siegler. Brandy Marie Swain. Akila L. Thomas. Rochelle Samandy Wiggins Ruiz. Amber Michelle Wilson. Dion Wilson.
Will the graduates receiving the bachelor's degree in the College of Health and Human Services please come forward to receive your diplomas? Victoria Latrice Baker. Alan Blake Beck. Shamika Kaylin Bonds. Carolyn Hannah Bopp, magna cum laude. Brittany K. Broaden Woolsey. Derica Lachelle Burrell. Caleb Lee Carbine, cum laude. Shabrika Nicole Clark. Bradley Dale Kleckler. Brittany Charnel Datcher. Ashley Olivia Dew. David Cole Dunlap. Jonathan Michael Erskine. Christy Magby Flournoy. Brandy Michelle Harris. David Austin Harris. Christopher James Hawk. Dallas Paige Hinson. Caroline McKinnon Holman. Mercedes Abrida Jackson. Whitney Jade Mathis. Amy Nicole Miller, magna cum laude. Zebby D. Mitchell III. Samantha Ann Morgan. Antoine L. Myers. Melanie A. Polk. Arrington Devon Powell. Sandra Tuggle Ridley. Roosevelt Roberts, Jr. Caitlin Robinson. Caroline Elizabeth Sartwell. Courtney Shea Sconyers. Lakin Elizabeth Sexton, cum laude. Jordan Lee Simpson, magna cum laude. Caitlin Rebecca Sizemore, summa cum laude. Taylor Michelle Smart, magna cum laude. Amber N. Stinson. Victoria Marie Truant. Rika Ariel Vines. Shyamber Leanne Waits. Joshua Benjamin Warren. Haley Monikia Wilson. Madison Reagan Winter. James Timothy Wortham II. Blair R. Young.
Will the graduates receiving the master's degree from the College of Arts and Sciences please come forward to accept your diploma? Erica E. Thrash. Jonathan Elliott Bissell. Elena Lynn Arnold. Francis Egan. Damick J. McRae. Ashley Dove Weber. Tasha Wilson Davis. Aretha Renee Shitty. Jennifer Fouch. Sydney Elizabeth Ann Graves. Nortasha Jones. Bradley K. Kistler.
Will the graduates receiving the master's degree in the Sorrell College of Business please come forward to receive your diplomas? Mayan Samuel Akpan. Talat Husi Nov. Candace Erin Lawton. Theo Phuong Vu. Latasha Nicole Lett. Han Ming Lee. Matthew Todd Manning. Casey Christine McLeod. Alicia Janelle McPadden. Morgan Ashley Neal. Albert Poole. Stephanie Louise Roberts. Raul Sandoval. Shafiq. Carmen Danielle Smith. Rebecca Lynn Stafford. Nirmala Subedi. Aisha Clay Taylor. Julie Torreson. Holly Nicole Vernon. Stephanie Eileen Stanford Wallace. Jing Nguyen. Shanika Lachey Wilburn. Kason D. White. Okay. Mia Shelley Williams Johnson.
Will the graduates receiving the master's degree in the College of Communication and Fine Arts please come forward to receive your diplomas? Joffrey Morgan Herring. Jenny Bowman Nelson. Lauren Michelle Smith. Catherine Ann Wise. Joshua James Yawn.
Will the graduates receive their degree, the master's degree in the College of Education? Please come forward to receive your diploma. Karen Diane Akama. Margaret S. Campbell. Mary Kathleen Cazanevet. Benjamin Chisholm Jason Kraft. Rachel Maureen Fox. Geronda Linvette Golston. Crystal Benica Gordon. Derek Demon Grinder. Tiffany Kiera Davis. Tanisha Renee Jones. Tiffany Camille Vazek. Victoria Hope Kilpatrick. Quavian DeBoris Lewis. Savora LaTabitha Lewis Gray. Sherry Douglas Miller. Valerie Lee Nelson. Regina Ann Perkins. Sierras Pollard. Daniel Edward Powell. Delisa Charette Pugh. Shabrell M. Reynolds. Priscilla Suri Shori. Erin Michelle Sims.
Will the graduates receiving the master's degree in the College of Health and Human Services please come forward to receive your diplomas? Tanisha L. Campbell. Haley Danielle Hutchins. Jessica K. Lynch. Rustin O'Neill Savignon. Will the graduate receiving the doctor's degree in the College of Health and Human Performance please come forward to receive your diploma? Vivian Ann Kelly.
Chancellor Hawkins, may I ask that you and Mr. Roy Drinkard please come forward. Chancellor Hawkins, I present to you Mr. Roy Drinkard, and it's on behalf of Troy University that I'm going to recommend the degree of Doctor of Honors be conferred in recognition of his service and many contributions to the citizens of the state of Alabama and to all those associated with Troy University. His numerous contributions range from being a distinguished member of the greatest generation, having served with honor and valor in the United States Marine Corps in World War II, to promoting economic development in his community and his state, and immeasurable counsel and influence as a respected member of the Troy University Board of Trustees since 2000. Mr. Drinkard's expertise, experience, and wise counsel have benefited Troy University immeasurably during his tenure as a trustee, not only in matters regarding fiscal management, but also regarding continued institutional fealty to the highest ideals of student service and inculcation of the Corps' value of loyalty, responsibility, and civility upon every student.
Before I confer the Honorary Doctor of Laws on Mr. Roy Drinkard, I'd like to invite all of our trustees to come to the platform and stand in support of soon-to-be Dr. Drinkard, because this is truly an honor for all of us to be able to honor this great, great gentleman, one of the greatest generation, a World War II Marine, as Dr. Ingram said, but a gentleman who has made a huge, huge difference in the quality of life for all of us in the state of Alabama. So on behalf of the board and upon recommendation of the faculty and approval of the Chief Academic Officer, and indeed by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Troy University and the laws of the state of Alabama, it's a high honor for me to, on behalf of the institution, to award and confer the degree Honorary Doctor of Laws on Mr. Roy Drinkard.
Colonel Garcia, Colonel Reed, would you please come forward?
Chancellor Hawkins, Colonel Thorsness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I present to you the newest Air Force Second Lieutenant entering into the United States Air Force. This graduate will commission with an effective date of rank of 25 July 2014, as directed by the President of the United States of America. Today, he has taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and will support the Air Force mission of flying, fighting, and winning in the domains of air, space, and cyberspace. Second Lieutenant Cameron Crowley was born on December 28, 1990, and is a native of Enterprise, Alabama. During Cameron's 2 years in Air Force ROTC Detachment 17, he has been awarded several decorations to include the Scholarship Recipient Ribbon with 1 Oak Leaf Cluster, the Honor Flight Ribbon, the Warrior Flight Ribbon, and the Academic Achievement Ribbon, and the Physical Fitness Ribbon. Cameron held a leadership position as Cadet Lieutenant Colonel, Operations Group Commander during the spring of 2014 semester. Cameron is commissioning on active duty in the United States Air Force as a remotely piloted aircraft officer with training beginning at Joint Base San Antonio Randolph, San Antonio, Texas. Cameron, do great things.
Chancellor Hawkins, Colonel Thorsness, distinguished guests, family, friends, it is an honor and a privilege to stand before you today and present you with the newest Troy Second Lieutenant to enter the United States Army. This graduate will commission with an effective date of rank of 25 July 2014 as directed by the President of the United States of America. A native of Montgomery, Alabama, Ashton Moody is a National Scholarship Awardee and has demonstrated his scholastic aptitude while developing his leadership skills while here at Troy University. Later today, Second Lieutenant Ashton Moody will be taking an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. He will then be assigned to the Army Reserves, and upon completion of the basic officer leadership course, will continue to pursue his master's degree. Chancellor Hawkins, as is customary and in keeping with the highest traditions of military service, these newly commissioned second lieutenants will render their first salutes to you as the presiding official, and then a second salute to their fellow classmates and graduates from whom they represent the American people that they have sworn to protect and defend.
May I ask you to stand or to remain standing for the alma mater and the benediction. Please join Ms. Megan Johnson in singing the alma mater, which is on the bottom of page 4 of your program, as well as on the screens at both ends of the arena. The alma mater will be followed by the benediction offered by Mr. Cruz Young. Please remain in your seats for the recessional until the platform party and the graduates have left the arena.
Upon the mighty walls of Troy, we meet our lifelong friends, to grow in knowledge, truth,
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to lift you up again and just thank you for so much, for guiding us and allowing us to get to this rite of passage and a new life we're starting, this milestone that we all have accomplished. We just pray that you give us the strength and the determination of a marathon runner to go. We pray that you just give us the wisdom of the age and the will of the young. We thank you again for our family and our friends and your grace. May everything that we do in our lives lead back to you, and give us the strength when times are hard and we don't understand which way to go, that we choose to rely on one another and not turn against one another. In your holy name I pray. Keep us safe as we travel back to our homes and our respective countries. Amen.